Good evening and welcome to Politics Insight on Diaspora Digital Media. I remain your host, Ibrahim Umarwasi. Tonight, Nigeria faces a storm of unfolding security and diplomatic tensions. From controversial peace deal in the Northwest to shocking arrests in the Middle Belt and mounting international pressure from Washington. In Katsina, bandits rode into Kankia Local Government headquarters, not to attack, but to sign a peace agreement, trading guns for dialogue in a move that has divided communities and alarmed state officials. Just as that deal dominated headlines, the Department of State Services arrested a Reverend Father in Plateau State, accused of supplying sophisticated weapons to bandit groups terrorizing surrounding areas. Alongside the dismantling of a wider gun-running network, and as this domestic security crisis deepens, the United States has officially designated Nigeria a country of particular concern, citing what it calls targeted religious-related violence, a move that could trigger sanctions and reshape diplomatic relations. Tonight on Politics Insight, we'll connect the dot shaping Nigeria's security, justice, and foreign policy landscape. Stay tuned, we will be right back after the break. Welcome back. We begin tonight with a developing story from Katsina State, where a controversial peace agreement involving armed bandits has ignited national debate and raised serious questions about Nigeria's counterinsurgency strategy. Just days after multiple communities across Katsina engaged Fulani armed groups in dialogue, another round of negotiations took place, this time in Kankia Local Government area, where bandits arrived openly on motorcycles to sign what local leaders are calling a community peace pact. On November 15, dozens of armed bandits rode into Kankia Local Government headquarters to sign a peace agreement with the council chairmen of Kusada, Ingawa, and Charanchi. Eyewitnesses say the bandits, some masked, others fully identifiable, drove in calmly, parked their motorcycles, and walked into the meeting venue under the watch of community leaders, vigilantes, and local officials. Under the agreement, the bandits reportedly pledged to halt raids on villages, end kidnappings and cattle rustling, release all captives in their custody in exchange. Local officials promise a suspension of military operation in the area, access to grazing routes and water points, including in social programs and basic amenities. But tonight's reaction to this pact are sharply divided. Governor Dikurada of Katsina State has distanced his administration from the agreement, insisting that the state government did not authorize and does not endorse negotiation that offer concession to violent groups. The governor has long opposed what he calls the recycling of failed peace deal, arguing that previous amnesty programs only gave bandits time to reorganize and rearm. And experts are divided. Some argue that local communities, frustrated by years of killings, kidnappings, and farmer levies, are returning to negotiation as a last resort. Others warn that deals without federal or state backing could collapse quickly, especially since armed banditry in Katsina has increasingly become a criminal economy involving Residents in Kankia and surrounding LGAs told reporters they are cautiously hopeful but deeply skeptical. Security analysts warn that this new wave of community-led negotiations may fracture the security architecture further, especially if multiple LGAs begin signing separate deals with different armed factions. This decentralization could create a patchwork of fragile peace zones vulnerable to collapse. This latest development comes amid a surge in coordinated attack across Katsina, including extortion scheme where farmers are forced to pay levies before accessing farmlands. Despite repeated military operations, analysts say bandit groups remain deeply embedded in the region's forest belt and maintain sophisticated informal networks. So tonight, as the people of Ingawa and Charanchi hope this agreement bring relief, two questions lingers. Can peace built on local negotiation survive without state support? And does halting military operation in exchange for calm set a dangerous precedent for other armed groups across the country? These are the concerns shaping the national conversations as Katsina navigates one of its most complex security challenges yet. We will continue to monitor the situation and bring you updates as they emerge. Stay with us. Welcome back. As Nigeria grapple with rising insecurity and the controversial peace deal signed between local council chairmen and armed bandits in Katsina, another disturbing development has emerged, this time from Plateau State. Just 3 days before the Katsina agreement, Nigeria's Department of State Services carried out a series of high-profile arrests revealing a deep and complex network supplying weapons to criminal groups in the north. On November 12, operatives of the DSS arrested a Reverend Father accused of supplying various caliber of arms to bandits operating in Plateau State and surrounding states. According to intelligence sources, the cleric had been under surveillance for several weeks, following reports linking him to suspicious movements and transactions involving weapons. Alongside the clergy, the DSS also apprehended Musa Abubakar, a suspected local arms manufacturer in Basa Local Government area of Plateau State. Recovered from his workshop were tools, metal components, chemicals, and materials allegedly accused to produce homemade firearms and explosives. Investigators believe these weapons have been foiling the persistent cycles of violence between criminal bandit groups and local communities.
Your prayer this morning will not work. This one recovers from the Reverend Father.
The fabrication and supply of locally made dangerous arms by illegal arms dealers from Plateau State has continued to pose a threat to national security. The police has over the years busted and arrested several syndicates from Plateau State who often produce and supply arms to criminal elements in surrounding states like Katsina and other states. Paraded here are arrested 8-man gun-running syndicates arrested by IRT operatives in Plateau State for fabricating locally made AK-47 rifles and other caliber of arms. The first public relations officer, ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, said the 8 suspects were intercepted at various intelligence-led operations.
Acting on credible intelligence received regarding the activities of a gun-running syndicate in Plateau State, operatives of the IRT arrested one Joseph Tata, male, 33 years, in Mekan Local Government area, Plateau State. The operatives recovered the following items concealed in the door mat of a red Volkswagen station wagon: 8 fabricated AK-47 rifles, 4 fabricated revolver rifles of guns, 3 fabricated semi-automatic pistols, and 2 fabricated AK-47 magazines.
2 other suspects were arrested by IRT operatives for illegal possession of prohibited firearms. One of the suspects said he purchased the arm for his personal protection.
Duka ba su bar ne ba sun sace dauki mata na Yukuma. He said he was kidnapped twice. That was his reason to harm himself with AK-47.
To harm himself with AK-47 rifle.
The police say its operatives recover 191 prohibited firearms, 4,255 various live ammunition, arrest of 63 suspects, and rescue of 387 victims of kidnapping in January 2025.
And that was not all. In a parallel operation, police authorities in Mangu local government area arrested 8 members of an organized gun-running syndicate led by one Joseph Tata. The team recovered an alarming cache of weapons, including 8 fabricated AK-47 rifles, 4 revolvers, 3 pistols, and dozens of rounds of ammunition. Security analysts say this seizure shows how widely distributed and deeply rooted the illicit arms trade has become across Nigeria's conflict zones. Since January, combined security operations across the country have resulted in the recovery of 191 illegal firearms. But despite these successes, questions remain. If weapons continue to circulate this freely, if bandits can thrive openly at government premises to negotiate peace deals, and if religious figures are now being implicated in the supply chain, then how close is Nigeria to fully understanding the machinery that keep this violence alive? The arrests come at a delicate time. The Katsina peace deal has already drawn national scrutiny, with Governor Dikko Umaru Rada distancing the state administration from the negotiations. Meanwhile, residents continue to live under the fear of raid, forced levies, kidnappings, and reprisals, raising concern over whether such agreements can truly bring relief or merely offer temporary pause in a much larger crisis. As investigations continue and more details emerge, one thing is clear: Nigeria's security challenge is no longer isolated incidents of violence, but an interconnected ecosystem involving armed groups, illegal arm manufacturers, community leaders, and now even members of the clergy. The big question tonight: can peace be negotiated when the pipeline of weapons remain wide open? We will continue to monitor all development and bring you updates as they unfold. Stay with us. We will be right back after the break. Welcome back. You are still watching Politics Inside on Diaspora Digital Media, and we are still on Nigeria's security challenges. As diplomatic tensions are rising after US President Donald Trump designated Nigeria a country of particular concern for what Washington describes as severe religious freedom violations, particularly alleged attacks on Christian communities in the North and Middle Belts.
Thousands and thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. That's a legal definition. When the Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide. What horrible numbers. Something has to be done. I am asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and to report back to me. And I mean, like, immediately. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. It's not only Nigeria, it's all over.
Nigeria's government strongly denies the accusation, insisting the violence is rooted in wider insecurity, not religious persecution. On October 31st, the White House took one of its most serious diplomatic steps against Nigeria in years, formally listing the country as a country of particular concern, a designation reserved for nations accused of systematic or egregious religious oppression. President Donald Trump defended the decision, pointing to what he called relentless attack on Christians by Islamist militants like Boko Haram and Fulani groups. The move has triggered a congregational investigation led by Representative Raleigh Moore, who says his committee will examine whether U.S. foreign aid should be restricted and whether targeted sanctions should follow.
Well, what we want is for the killings to stop, and it's a systematic campaign of persecution by Islamic terrorist organizations, not just Boko Haram, but IS West Africa, and also this Fulani tribe that lives in that middle band that has been just discriminately targeting Christians and killing them. You saw the numbers that you just put up there. I mean, they are absolutely horrific. Making this a country of particular concern will limit and restrict their security assistance programs with the United States. So we have been training and equipping the Nigerians in the hope that they were going to stop Boko Haram and eliminate them from Nigeria. Well, that's not happening. And I think there is a question of there is collusion in between the current Islamic government in Nigeria and these terrorist organizations.
But Abuja strongly rejects the CPC designation. The Nigerian government insists that the violence from Boko Haram attack in the northeast to farmer-herder clashes in the Middle Belt is driven by terrorism, land pressure, and economic hardship, not state-sponsored religious persecution. Officials accuse Washington of oversimplifying a complex security challenges that has claimed thousands of Muslims and Christians' lives alike. Back in Washington, the congregational probe is already underway. Analysts warn that if Nigeria fails to change the US narrative, the consequences could be significant, including visa bans, reduced military operation, or cuts to development assistance. Human rights observers say the North continue to face daily attack from Boko Haram, ISWAP, and bandit groups, leaving communities vulnerable and foiling competing interpretations of what is driving the violence. For now, the diplomatic fallout is growing. Nigeria's challenges will be convincing US lawmakers that the crisis is rooted in insecurity rather than religious persecution, a debate that could shape the future of relations between Abuja and Washington for years to come, a crucial development with major implications for Nigeria's international standing. We will continue tracking responses from both capitals in the days ahead. From a fragile peace deal in the Northwest to shocking revelation of clerical arms trafficking in the Middle Belt, and now escalating scrutiny from the United States, Nigeria stands at a defining crossroads. Would local peace negotiations deliver stability or empower new traits? Will the DSS crackdown reshape the flow of illegal arms? And how will Abuja navigate Washington warning without deepening diplomatic strength? These questions will shape the nation's next chapter, and we will be here to track every development. Thank you for watching. I remain your host, Ibrahim Umar Wase. Stay informed, stay safe, and good night.